I'm going to create a new post. I'm going to call it delete, because we're not going to use it. Delete image test. And I happen to have some text on my clipboard, so I'm going to paste it. Just some dummy text. I'm going to set the visibility here to private, because I don't really want this to show on the website. This is just for tutorial purposes. I'm going to update. I'm going to view the test post. And here we can see I have just running copy, dummy copy, delete image test. Okay, so let's say maybe I want to add an image in here that doesn't go the entire width. Maybe it just floats here. And then maybe I want to add a smaller image that probably would float itself right over here. And then maybe down here in these other paragraphs, I want to do a test image that'll just maybe take up the whole width here. And we know this is 700 pixels wide. So let's add some images, or add an image. And we'll just use one image as a test. We happen to have this image in the media library, I believe, from your previous developer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in the beginning of the paragraph, because I'm going to want this image to start at the beginning of the paragraph. I'm going to say add media. And as you can see, I can go to the media library, or I can upload a file. I'm already selected in the media library. Let's see what we have. Here's the image that I was thinking of. If I select it, has a title, has a caption. If it doesn't have it, I should add it. And here's an important part. I say, what size do I want the image to be? I can insert the image directly at these sizes, which is a thumbnail, or at medium size, or at full size. I'm going to insert it at full size and then show you how I can manipulate the size. So we inserted the image. I'm going to select on the image. It's sitting left. I get my delete the image or my modify icon. And notice here I can scale the image down by the percent sizes. I also have the same thing here on the advanced tab. So here I'm going to scale the image down. Let's say 60% and say update. There's a link on it, and if I select the image, it would take me to the actual image. So we're going to say update, but I think I want it even smaller. I'm going to select it again, click on image, and say make it even 60% smaller of where I just was, and say update. Notice how the image is now smaller. And I think I want to go just a little bit smaller so it somewhat lines up with the paragraph. Let's say go about 80% smaller from here, and say update. If I say update, and if I say preview, as opposed to view the post, if I hit preview, take a look at the top here. WordPress opens a new tab for me to still stay on the post that I'm working with, as well as see what it looks like. And this is what our post looks like. We have our caption here. We have the image. Okay, and then we said let's add another image here, and then let's add one that would take up the same width. So keep in mind, I'm still working with the same image. I'm going to click here at the end of the paragraph, the second paragraph. Say add media. I'm going to go back to that same image, which is here. I'm going to insert it at the full size and then control the size within the post. So we insert that one. Let's go in here. We select the image, modify. I want it to be to the right, as well as I want to size it down. And you can see WordPress gives you a little preview of what would happen by saying align right, align center, and align left, or no alignment. Let's align right. We're going to update. I'm going to go in, I'm going to make it smaller again, 60%, and update. And I think maybe let's go a little bit smaller. Let's say that 80% again. Say update. Now I'm going to update that. And you can see I have my two images. I'm going to scroll down. And remember, I selected at the end of this paragraph. Let's see if we click preview again. Remember how WordPress opened that other window? And that window just actually refreshes. So I didn't even need to open another window. The preview window which it first opened is still there. Now let's say I don't like this image here. I want to put that image in this paragraph. And I believe I selected after this word here. But we can go in and modify. I can simply click on the image and drag it, or even cut it. And that would be like so. Let's scroll down so we can see a little bit more. I don't want this here. So what I'm going to do is, when you have a caption, the images work a little bit differently than when you don't have a caption. I could simply just take the image and drag it here, or I could cut it. But what happens when you have a caption, it leaves the caption content behind. So the only way to work around that is delete it entirely. Let's select in here again to that area right after that word, add media, one more time. Scroll down here to the library. This time I'm going to say let's use it at this size, the medium size. And I'm going to say here, let's align it to the right. Here I want to link to, when you select the image, these are the settings. I can link to the actual media file, or see the file generated by a WordPress page, or I can put in a custom URL that when someone clicks that image they can go to another website, or different content on our site. This one I'm going to say don't link it. Now let's insert it into the post. Let's update, and I'm going to click, once that refreshes, I'm going to click preview. Remember, we still have that preview window open, and it's refreshing itself. Let's take a look, scroll down. We're still down here. So what I need to do is to put this image at the beginning and then say align it to the right. And let's try that. Again, I'm going to select that image. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to look for my second paragraph, which is here. So I'm going to click into the word and use the arrow keys till I get to the beginning of that paragraph. I'm going to say add media. There's my image. And here, just to make sure I have enough size, I'm going to say make it a thumbnail. Link to the media, align it to the right. Insert it, and now I'm in that paragraph and it works fine. This may be something you'll have to experiment with, and you can see it's no harm to experiment with WordPress, as I deleted a temporary post just to work with. Delete post, and I'm going to say update. When that comes back, remember I already have that other window tab open. I'm going to update my preview by clicking on it. I'm going to go to that tab. I scroll down and there's my other image. Now let's say I want to add an image. I want to add that same image here and take up the entire width. We know, again, we have 700 pixels, right, to work with. I'm going to click at the beginning of this paragraph. I'm going to say add media. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to select this image. Again, now I can insert a custom size, but what I'm going to do is say insert it at full size. Have it float to no floating. So we just want it to kind of break everything. We don't want anything to wrap around it. That's why we say none. We insert it into the post. You can see there it is, really huge, right? Going to select on it, modify, and under advanced settings, see where there's a number size? I'm going to actually put a numeric size in. But the thing to note here is that you need to know what the proportion is for the height. And if you don't know, then you can actually distort the image. But let's scroll down until we see a number, 717. And you know what? At 60%, that seems to be a good size. Now, I want this to link out, which I have here. It has a link to the image itself, but I want it to open in a nice little transparent overlay. So again, under the advanced settings, where I see link rel, which stands for the linked relationship, I'm going to put in pretty, lowercase first, and then a capital P for photo. And that is important to get that functionality to work. I'm going to say update. I'm going to click here to update my preview. And then we'll look here as our page refreshed, and there you can see it. So this one is aligned left, this is aligned right, this is aligned none, and you can see how it broke all the copy around it. Now, what if I go into this, and you can see that I have my overlay, because I called that a pretty photo in the link relationship. Okay, here I didn't use pretty photo, and look at the difference when I click it. So generally, whenever you have one single image that you do make an active link, or you want someone to be able to link to a fuller image to actually see more detail, make sure to use, in the advanced settings, the links relationship is set to pretty photo. And that is essentially all you'd really need to know to work with images.